Hey guys, it's Elon from Inside Fighting, and I had a really good experience meeting this martial artist yesterday, a kung fu guy who's been doing Pakme for the past 20 years, but he's been training martial arts for about 32 years. The guy's a beast. Anyway, he showed me this video of a Tai Chi guy fighting Marcelo Garcia, my personal favorite grappler of all time. I'm not going to waste time. Let's just jump right in.
Pow, pow. Inside fighting, yeah. Dangerous martial arts. Pow, pow. Ooh, ah.
So as you guys know, quickly before I get started, to support this channel, please go to InsideFightingStore.com, pick up one of the instructionals if you're interested. If you're not, just like and subscribe. And by the way, if you get an instructional, you don't get anything out of it, I'll refund you fully. I don't want to take your money unless it actually benefits your training. All right, enough of that. So this guy and I have been talking for a while online. He had seen my videos. He's a Pakme guy, like I said, and we met up and we started doing all these forms and some drills together, and it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. It had a really close quarter approach to fighting. And what happened is I asked him about sparring and how they develop sparring, and he said, you know, they actually do spar quite a bit. They do it in stages, and they had these 4 different stages of developing it. Anyway, they had different stages to full sparring, and so we started doing push hand drills and Shisao drills. The difference with him is that we weren't so soft about it. We were actually knocking each other off balance. We were trying to slip in little smacks, and it was very alive. It was very, very good training. And I told him, hey, I'm very surprised by that. Everything I've seen with, I got a hair in my mouth, guys. Everything I've seen with Tai Chi and these kind of softer styles, because that's part of what he was, you know, showing me, has always been soft, kind of the criticism that a lot of the Sistema guys get in that video I posted. And he was like, no, that's a misconception. There's actually this great video out there of this guy who does a style called Chen Tai Chi, which is a more aggressive style, I guess, fighting style of Tai Chi, fighting Marcelo Garcia, my favorite grappler of all time. This guy came out of nowhere, ripped through ADCC in the absolute division. Like, if you're, I don't even know if this is old school grappling, because it's like 2010, I think, that this was happening. I've been grappling since 1999. I'm that old, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, if you don't know, Marcelo Garcia isn't just good. He's freak good. He's legendary good. He's equivalent to, like, if you looked at boxing, what a Mike Tyson would be or what a Muhammad Ali would be. He's really up there in, like, the Hall of Fame of grapplers. My personal biggest influence for in terms of how I developed my game, just because of body type. The guy's an incredible butterfly guard. He pretty much invented the X guard, all types of stuff. So if you're not into jiu-jitsu, that segment was boring for you. But just know this guy is incredible. Also, just beat stomach cancer. So a warrior in that sense too. So all the respect in the world to Marcelo Garcia. This guy has an open mind, Marcelo Garcia. He is willing to spar with this Chen Tai Chi guy. One thing you have to note, the reason I hyped up Marcelo Garcia so much just now is because it's the truth. He's not going to fight in this video the best Chen Tai Chi guy in the history of Chen Tai Chi. He's fighting a guy who clearly has people above him. So we're comparing the best at the time in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to, I don't know what level in Chen Tai Chi. Clearly good enough. He's clearly done stuff before. With that said, it's no surprise that Marcelo Garcia can take him down. They don't really fight on the ground. They're doing wrestling. But there's some really, really important things we can learn here from Chen Tai Chi that actually I think caught Marcelo Garcia a little off guard. So let's just look at what happened. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger today. So here we go. That's the Chen Tai Chi guy. And again, he's a young guy. He's not the best in the world. And we're literally looking at the best in jiu-jitsu in the entire world. This is a guy who just walks through the best martial artists ever. I don't know what this warm-up is. Here, wait, let's just go back in. So they tie up. Okay, now Marcelo Garcia always does that 2-on-1. He always does when he's fighting. And if you look right off the bat, he's already having trouble. Now, this may not look that impressive to you, Marcelo Garcia having trouble taking him down like this. And we're going to rewatch this. Okay, so that might not have looked that impressive. It might have looked like it was easy for Marcelo Garcia to get that. It actually wasn't. If you look here, Marcelo Garcia ties up with him. Now, from this position, people don't realize how strong he is. That was a beautiful little way to get his energy off of him. Did you guys see what he did? That's lesson number 1 right there. And he uses this multiple times. Look at how he steps. He allows Marcelo to control him and whips his body. around by stepping behind. This is an incredibly slick little trip right here. And I'm playing it a third time because we could pick something up. So right here, the 2-on-1 is tied up. He's starting to get double wrist control. He's going to try and set up the 2-on-1 as he's circling out. The second he does that, look at the distance he created just by whipping his body and stepping behind. This is the thing I noticed from Tai Chi push hands. And again, he's going for that outside kind of control on the arm. He gets double unders. Marcelo Garcia is just so good, but still incredible balance. He wasn't able to take him down by wrapping the leg, and then he goes inside. You're looking at the best in the world. You know what I mean? Again, they start tying up. And Marcelo's tentative here. I mean, he's trying to get a read on the Tai Chi guy. And again, he goes for that double wrist control and then goes for double underhooks, but couldn't get it. The Tai Chi guy's really good with his shoulders. Everyone talks about hips. They don't talk about shoulders. If you look at the Tai Chi guy, he uses his shoulders and his forearms as a really good lever to keep Marcelo off of him. And this is where you're going to notice that the Tai Chi guy has a problem. Oh, beautiful arm drag there by the Tai Chi guy. I want to see that again. So look at this. Look at this setup right here. He shoots for a double, but he has a good crossface, so he lets it go. Again, really nice. That's sensitivity. That's tactile sensitivity that you pick up. And then he just sets up this really beautiful loose arm drag. And I always talk about this. The importance of relaxation on an arm drag is that your body is relaxed so all the weight comes back with you. You don't want to use muscle to drag them. And look how he launched him. And again, there's some really slick lessons we can learn here from the Tai Chi guy. Doesn't mean he has to be better than Marcelo Garcia to have value. Oh, that same exact trip, that same exact motion. Look right here. He walks him down and look at his right leg. Look what he does with his right leg and his hip. And again, that same shoulder as a lever. They do a lot of like whipping movements. Now, it might look stupid, and when you're doing push hands and all that stuff, it looks slow. But when you start like elevating it or escalating it, like I did yesterday with this guy, and hopefully he allows us to do it on video, it almost turns into what you're seeing here. It turns into a wrestling game because those same 2-on-1 positions are literally positions you're doing when you're pushing the arm. You actually have 2-on-1s and all these kind of controls in the push hands. That's what I realized yesterday. So let's just keep analyzing here. Look at this. Outside right leg, hip, drives him off. Goes for the arm drag again. You're not going to get Marcelo Garcia twice on that. And then Marcelo Garcia, just to prove how good he is, does the exact same thing back. What I will say is the Chen Tai Chi guy loses his ability to control Marcelo when he loses tactile sensitivity. And that's a really interesting thing to take note of because all of push hands, all of these sensitivity drills require tactile sensitivity. Wrestling doesn't. Wrestling, you could shoot without ever touching the guy. You could go for a single without ever touching the guy. So you can do things from a distance that cover the gap very, very quickly. And you'll see this is where the Chen Tai Chi guy always loses. He loses when he doesn't have any type of physical sensitivity to Marcelo. Marcelo, when they are touching each other like this, again, that same beautiful drive in. This doesn't work against Marcelo Garcia because of his incredible base, but this would work against so many people. He just whips his body, and I'm playing it over and over, whips his body to the right and then uses that right leg again and drives his whole body forward. So just with two basic techniques, this Chen Tai Chi guy's done incredibly well. And again, it's always the low line doubles and singles that he loses on because he loses control of the arms. But the Chen Tai Chi guy's doing very, very well with two simple concepts. And keeping it simple is really important against a guy like this. So what he's doing is he's relying on the arm drag and that right step in with his hip and drive. And even there, he didn't get taken down on that, which was beautiful. Again, he's going for that arm drag again. So he's just keeping it simple and relying on sensitivity to set up those two positions. Now, what we have to take note of here again is when he loses the sensitivity, when he loses the tactile control right here, like these moments, is when he's most vulnerable. And he allowed Marcelo to get a full 2-on-1, which is, I'm surprised Marcelo wasn't able to just shoot down for a single there. But that's exactly when it gets bad for him. Again, kept balance there, didn't get taken down. Anyone who's rolled with Marcelo Garcia understands just how crazy this actually is for a guy to be able to kind of not necessarily give him a struggle, but to drive him off balance, be able to resist some of his sweeps. to drive him off when he's holding a 2-on-1 like that. And here again, we see Marcelo. Oh, wow. Look at that rotational energy. Again, this is something I felt yesterday when I was sometimes going for things. Look how they start rotating, and the Tai Chi guy kind of accelerates the movement at the right time here. Watch, to throw him right off. That's something you don't see in classic wrestling as much. It's something you don't see jiu-jitsu guys do as much. It's really something that would come from push hands and all these drills. And they're really, really good with that kind of rotational energy because that's what they do all day. They do, again, goes for a beautiful arm drag to leg sweep. I'm gonna rewind that. But look at this trip. Look at his right leg again. He always uses his right leg to step behind and throw him off balance. This is impressive, guys. However you want to look at it, you could say, okay, he didn't beat Marcelo Garcia. If he would have been able to take down Marcelo Garcia, that would have just been a ridiculous thing. But again, loses the tactile sensitivity and gets taken down. Let's watch it one more time. Exactly where the weakness is. Watch. Loses the hand control, taken down. And accepts it because, you know, this is all in good fun. A really beautiful exchange here. I'm seeing a lot of value in at least supplementing like these push hand drills when they're done with intent. Again, I talk about that a lot. Good at keeping his hips back. And so I think that if you train these Tai Chi drills, if you train push hands, if you do all these kind of sensitivity drills, if you bring in this kind of intent to it sometimes, if you make it alive like this, then I think it does have tremendous value. I think it can actually benefit people's grappling. Not only that, it's not just going to benefit their grappling, it's going to get taken down again here, I think. Just because, again, it's Marcelo Garcia, and he's going to lose that control of, and he's getting tired. You see it. I think that's it. They're just done. He got tired and get taken down again. It doesn't only help your grappling. There's a move I catch everyone with, like when I'm play sparring. So we were just kind of moving around a little bit, seeing how reactions were, just trying to touch each other's faces with taps. You know, like playful sparring, I would call it. And there's something I do to a lot of people. If you ever watch me play around with people, what I do is I like to loop their hand out. So I call it a live trapping. I made a video about it last time. One of the things I do is I loop and I come in right over top. Or if you try and throw right at me, I loop, or your jab, I loop and I come over top. And because I roll out, it's really hard for you when I'm here to get back inside that line to protect your head. You actually have to use the other hand, which most people aren't sensitive enough to. When I was doing it to him, he would kind of roll with my arm. He had extreme sensitivity anytime I touched him. And we were doing this fast. We were doing this at like close to realistic speed. So it was impressive to see him constantly reacting to something I catch a lot of people with the first time that I've done it to him, and to already have the reaction to defend it. Impressive stuff. And it's just, there's a certain thing we take for granted sometimes, I think, when we do combat sports a lot, which is some of these other systems, their training methodologies, their approach is different, but it still has tremendous value. I think it's just hard finding guys who would do push hands in a way that we saw in that video, or like I did with the guy yesterday. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see for future content. I hope you found this interesting.